For years in the handheld gaming world, we've always wondered, will Microsoft or Xbox ever create a handheld gaming device? We've seen years of amazing handhelds from Nintendo, and we've even seen Sony jump into the handheld market with the PSP and the PlayStation Vita. When Sony decided to throw their hat into the handheld gaming ring, everybody thought, surely Microsoft have to have something up their sleeve. But to date, we still haven't seen an Xbox handheld device. However, that isn't all of the story, and over the years, there really was a good chance that Microsoft and Xbox were going to create a gaming handheld device, and they were going to call it the Xboy. Over the years, there's been so many players in the handheld gaming market, but the kings of the hill have always been Nintendo. Nintendo really started to shine in the handheld gaming world with the release of the Game Boy, and ever since then they have just been the masters of the handheld gaming world. Over the years, we've seen Sega jump in with the likes of the Game Gear and the lesser known Nomad. We've seen Atari have a go as well with the Lynx, and even Neo Geo with the Neo Geo Pocket, but we've also seen consoles that haven't made it over to the UK and US, like the Bandai WonderSwan. There are so many amazing and wonderful, unique and quirky handheld devices throughout the past generations of gaming. And to go into all of those, we need to do that in a completely different episode. But the handheld gaming market really took a step to the next level when Sony entered the ring with the PlayStation Portable, the PSP. This meant that two of the top three dogs in the world of gaming now had handheld gaming devices, which left Xbox the only one of the top three that hadn't entered the ring as a handheld gaming device maker. This left everybody thinking, surely Microsoft and Xbox have to be designing something. They have to be thinking of something to keep up to speed with Nintendo and Sony. The PSP was a huge success for Sony, and they continued on to make the PS Vita. Nintendo also carried on with the DS line of consoles as well, but still, we didn't see any Xbox handheld gaming devices. Now around this time, we did see Microsoft as a company starting to delve into more portable kinds of media. They tried their hand at the MP3 players with the Zune, but that was a pretty sorry story. However, once again, this gave people even more fuel for the concept and the idea that Microsoft are expanding and want to move into this portable world. So surely, soon at some point, we have to hear the announcements of an Xbox handheld gaming device. And yet here we are in 2022, and we haven't heard anything in the realms of a handheld Xbox gaming device. Now that isn't entirely true, there is a trickle of information, but we'll save that for the end of the video. However, the focus of this episode is the really interesting information that Robbie Back gave in an interview with the New York Games Awards of how there were multiple attempts or multiple propositions of an Xbox handheld device, and they were even going to call it the Xboy. Now I just want to say this channel has grown phenomenally over the past few years thanks to you guys, and I want to take this to the next level and try and hit 10,000 subs by the end of the year so we can reach as many people as possible with our passion for retro gaming and handheld devices. You can really help that out by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell and sharing this video and any others with people that you think might enjoy them. Now let's get back to what we're talking about. Now in an interview with the New York Games Awards, Robbie Back actually revealed that there were multiple pitches for handheld Xbox gaming devices presented to him during his time at Xbox. As a matter of fact, there were three specific devices that were presented to him. All of these devices were tentatively called the Xboy. Now I'm sure that name wouldn't have stood, and that's probably more of a prototype name. But for the idea, for three distinct prototype ideas to be presented to Robbie Back for an Xbox handheld device shows there was a real desire within the company to enter the handheld gaming market. But unfortunately, all three of those prototypes were turned down by Robbie Back because he just didn't believe that there was enough bandwidth within the Xbox brand to cover a handheld gaming device. The way he saw it, it was like launching a completely new console, which effectively it is. And they had enough on their hands trying to deal with the Xbox and gain interest outside of the US and the UK markets. Nintendo and PlayStation have always had the benefit of having a strong Asian market, whereas Xbox just didn't really have that and have always struggled in Asian markets. So it kind of makes sense that in those early days, especially for Xbox, that such an ambitious project was something that was maybe a little too much to consider for Robbie Back and the guys at Xbox. Robbie Back even went on to describe the idea of the project as something that just would not die. Over the 9 years as Xbox boss, the idea of the Xboy just kept on coming up at different periods within his time. As a gamer, that is almost agonizing to hear, that we were so tantalizingly close to having an Xbox handheld device. Just trying to imagine what Xbox would have come up with, especially in those early days when a lot of the handheld gaming devices were going for more unique ideas and potentially gimmicks as well. Nintendo bringing 3D in with the for 3DS, and the PS Vita with all the gyroscopic motion and the touch controls. I would have loved to have seen what Xbox would have brought to the market to make them stand out. What's even more difficult to hear is that current Xbox boss Phil Spencer even stated that they created a portable Xbox handheld device prototype in 2017, meaning that we were closer than we ever thought to getting an Xbox portable handheld gaming device. And if we think back to 2017, whenever anybody mentioned the idea of an Xbox handheld device, everybody said there's no chance, especially with the decline of the PS Vita. Yet there we were, so close, there was a prototype being created. Instead, Xbox have decided to venture into the world of handheld gaming through Xbox Game Pass. Now, I've explained in previous episodes how you can now play current generation Xbox games in the palm of your hand by using Xbox Game Pass streaming. And that is phenomenal, that is absolutely amazing, and I love that idea. However, it doesn't quite satisfy that need that I know I personally have to see a fully fledged, created and developed handheld Xbox gaming device. But all hope might not be lost, because late last year in December 2021, Windows Central stated that Microsoft has been tinkering with potential prototypes for an Xbox handheld gaming device. Now, how that itself might manifest, whether it will be a streaming only device or whether it will be a device where you can play games natively on the console, is difficult to know. Or whether it will ever see the light of day or die a death like the Xboy, again, it's hard to know that, especially with the history that we now know of Xbox handhelds. However, there are two key points that do make me kind of hopeful. That is the next generation in the Snapdragon gaming processors that are used for mobile devices, which positions themselves perfectly for being used in an Xbox handheld gaming device. But also it's with the imminent arrival of the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has the potential to change the whole landscape of handheld gaming and take it off the path that everybody thought it was going on, which was cloud streaming only. The Steam Deck is pitching itself as a device that can pretty much do anything. It can stream, or it can play games natively as well. And that is a really exciting prospect for the future of handheld gaming. Now, there's one issue about the Steam Deck: it's so pricey. So here's an opportunity for Xbox or even Sony to dive in there and create a similar device at nearly half the price. Now, both those two topics are really juicy and interesting, but we're gonna have to save them for another episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you don't want to miss out on future episodes, make sure that subscribe button's here as well. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time.